Hey there, it's Dr. Nadia here, and welcome to another episode of Straight Talk About Sales. Today, I want to talk about when your pipeline is constipated. And that term actually came about. I was recently chatting with one of my clients, and we're looking at her pipeline, and there are actually some really good prospects that we've been talking to, some big deals in the pipeline. We were looking at the numbers, but for whatever reason, some of these people just haven't taken that next step. And you may be able to relate to that. You know, you're having a conversation, everything is clicking. You're like, oh my goodness, they will be perfect to work with. You're excited, they're excited. And for whatever reason, it's like they're just like, right? They're just frozen. They won't take that next step or pull the trigger, if you will, and just saying yes and firmly committing to moving forward. And working with you. And then it leaves you kind of baffled, like, what do I do? And it could be a number of things, right? There could be a number of ways that shows up. So they may say, things like, well, let me look at the numbers, or I need to talk about it, or these other things or unforeseen forces, right? Or suddenly pop up and you're just like, right? So you're like, again, what happened? So we were having this conversation because, like I said, these are amazing prospects. We love to work with them. They love to work with us based on, feedback that we've received. In a lot of cases, it wasn't even about the actual money or the investment, even though it is a sizable investment, right? And it was just kind of like we were both scratching our heads like, what the heck? And so, me being me, I was like, girl, it looks like your pipeline is constipated. And of course, that name stuck. So we started doing a little bit, we started looking into that a little bit more about what's going on. What do we need to tweak? Is it the marketing? Is it the messaging? Are these the right people? What do we say? What do we, right? You start asking yourself all these questions because you're really excited to move things forward. And at the same time, you're just like, what in the world? So today I wanted to just share several things for you to think about when you find yourself in that place. I've been there. And you're like, I'm doing everything right. I'm having the conversations. I'm doing my marketing. I'm speaking. I'm doing my webinars, whatever your lead generation strategy is. And you're booking these appointments. And it's like, no one is moving forward. What in the world is going on? So if you find yourself in that place of having your own constipated sales pipeline, here are several things that I want you to take a look at. Number one, check yourself, right? It always starts with you. Check your emotions, your self-talk, your feelings, what's going on in your head. Are you nervous about something? Is that kind of being transferred, if you will, or showing up in your sales conversations? If you record your sales conversations, listen to them, or have your coach or someone listen to them and give feedback. Is there something that's coming across that you're unaware of consciously, right? So that's always where I start. I always start myself. Is there something that's not quite right? So if that's the case, I definitely want you to do that first, okay? The second thing is, are they the right fit? So sometimes we're having conversations with people and we're getting excited, and they may even be excited, but they may not be the right fit. So definitely looking at, are they the right fit for the type of client you want to work with? This is really important when you're in those transition periods. Like even for this particular client that I mentioned, we're kind of in this interesting period where she's worked with a certain type of client for a very long time. So that's like the majority, right? And she's done a little bit over here, but now we're starting wanting to do more over here. And a lot of these new clients that are in the pipeline are over here. So it's like, are they the right fit? Did I leap wrong? Did I look at things wrong? Have I positioned myself wrong? All those different things and questions that may come up for us. So definitely look at that and make sure that you're indeed talking to the right people and that you definitely, want them to actually move forward. Number three, my notes. Identify the unvoiced question or concern. This is huge. Number three, I'm going to say that again. Identify the unvoiced question or concern. What's that question or concern that they haven't asked yet or is stated, right? So sometimes we think about the questions that people may ask. We think about the questions that they're going to bring up, right? So those are the easy ones because we typically will address those in the actual sales conversation. But sometimes there are questions or concerns that are impeding or definitely have an impact or influence your prospect's decision, but they haven't mentioned it yet. It may even be one that they're not 100% aware of themselves to even know to voice it. Maybe they do and they're just afraid. So one of those things could be, depending on the type of work you do, it could be that they're a little nervous about being judged, right? So again, one of the things that when you're like, depending on what type of work you do, it can make people a little nervous. Like if you're doing anything financial, right? So now you're going to look at all my numbers and you're going to have some judgment about how well or not well or the decisions that I've made. That could be definitely an unvoiced question or concern. And I may not say, well, are you going to judge me while we work together, right? But that's probably something that might be in the back of their mind, right? So you have to think about that. Is that a voiced or unvoiced question or concern that your prospect has? And that's what's really holding them back, right? So then you would have to go back and address that for them and help put their mind at ease. So if that's the case, finances, weight, or anything where you're calling people to be more visible, right? So they have all types of questions or concerns around that. Do I need to lose weight first? Am I pretty enough? Am I tall enough? Am I short enough? Am I buff enough? If you work with men, right? Whatever, all those questions our people have. But a bigger thing is, am I going to be safe by allowing you to see that part of me that a lot of times I may not, as a prospect or client, let other people see? That's the question, right? That they may have. So that may be something that you need to make sure you address in your conversation. You may even address it in your marketing, depending on what that question is. So just, take some time to identify what is that unvoiced thing that's going on, that thing that we haven't quite identified. And if you can't see it, get some help, right? So if you know some people that can kind of sit there, or that you can run some things by, or if you have someone on your team that really tunes into these sorts of things, don't be afraid to ask, because those things will definitely come up for people. And a lot of times you're in it, you're like, of course they're safe. Like, right? To you, it's like, duh, but to them, it may not be so obvious. So you definitely want to make sure to address that. Number 4 is there a way that you can phase it out, right? So depending on the type of work you do, especially those of you that do consulting and you have these massive projects where you're working with people, is there a way for you to break it into phases or allow them to take a baby step? So if you have $100,000 proposal project, right, on the table, is there a way that you can do maybe a phase 1 and it's only $15,000, right? And then they could do phase 2 and then phase 3, or however many phases you break it out. But maybe let's just get the ball rolling. Is there a way that you can do that, or invite them to take a baby step, as I often will say, right? So depending on the type of work you do, is there a way that you can do that? If you're a coach, maybe you have a downsell or a program that allows them to get to know you. It's not such a high investment. Or maybe you have an event that they can attend, so they get to be in the room with you a little bit. So they get to, feel your vibe, see your energy, see you in person. What are some of those things that you can allow them to do to experience you more, so that they can feel a lot more comfortable with taking that next step? But then also, is there a way that we can just get this ball rolling? And you might not eat the whole elephant. Let's just take one bite, right? So look at your process. Some of you, it'll be a lot easier to do that. Some, obviously, depending on how your business is structured, it's kind of like, not right now. And it's okay. Just, really look at your business and make the decision that's best for you. Number 5 is it time to beef up your pipeline or add some fiber, if you will? I am not a nutrition coach, clearly, by note, but I thought, adding fiber. Anyway, but really, is it that you need to get more conversations in the pipeline, more qualified leads? You're like, yes, these are the people that are the right fit. I'm identifying questions. Maybe I did make a shift And I also need to continue to nurture these relationships and move them to a close. But then also I'm like, whoa, I need to get more of these types of conversations and more of these types of prospects in my pipeline. So definitely look at the number of conversations you're having, the number of people that are at that place where it's causing your pipeline to feel constipated. And do you need to add more people and more conversations to your pipeline? Because again, depending on your sales cycle, depending on your level of expertise, your price points, your ideal client, like all of those things will impact how long it really does take for you to close the deal. Let's just be honest. Like not everyone's going to be yay, hooray in 10 minutes and it's a done deal. Some people, it takes a lot longer. It also, again, depends on the type of client you're working with. So be aware of that, pay attention to that. And also, again, as you're tracking, is it time to beef up your marketing, your lead gen efforts so you can get more people in the pipeline and have more of those conversations? And then finally, number 6 is don't quit. I'm going to say it again. Do not quit. Continue to have those conversations, even if it means it may take longer to close until they say, heck no, go away. I don't ever want to talk to you again. Leave me alone, right? Then there are ways to continue to nurture that relationship without being a bully or harassing them, right? But you definitely want to continue to stay in the conversation. Stick with it. Look at those ways to adjust. Look at those ways where you can really help them. And I want to say this just popped into my head. When I talked about baby steps and I talked about phasing it out, that does not necessarily mean that you then lower your prices. Notice I did not say that. I said phase it, but out. That means they don't get the whole enchilada. They just get a little piece of the enchilada and they pay for that piece, right? All right. The other thing is that doesn't mean that you just say, you know what, I'm just going to do all this stuff for free. So again, look at your process. What makes the most sense for you and your business and make the necessary adjustments. If it's a no, it's just a no, okay? I have clients, there isn't an option, right? I have a client, we have one option, that's it. Like people aren't ready, they just aren't ready. And then we have a nurture sequence in place or a process where we nurture and we continue to build upon that relationship. But there is no option to phase it out or break it into pieces or baby step it. Like that's just the truth of the matter. So I want you to be clear on that because sometimes we feel like, well, if the pipeline is constipated, then I just need to do that. And that's not the case. I want you to look at what's best for your business because, again, you also have to look at your revenue and look at your numbers. And that's not lost on me. But I definitely want you to make sure you're making the right decisions for your business. So I don't know why I felt led to say that, but I needed to say that and be clear about it. Okay, so if it's a no, it's a no. And if it's a yes, then make the adjustments that you need to make. All right. But the biggest thing is stay in the conversation. All right. Do not quit. The continued nurture could be that you ask permission, right, to add them to your newsletter list. And if you have a regular communication that goes out, then that's one way of nurturing. Like you don't have to continue to call people every other week, but you do want to, put some regular touch points, whether it's every 30 days, every 60 days, or whatever that works, again, best for your business, okay? So if you have questions and you want more details about your business, you want me to take a look at that, I would love to. You can head on over to meetwithdrnadia.com. That's meetwithdrnadia.com, meetwithdrnadia.com. Schedule some time for us to chat, and I can look at, your constipated pipeline and what adjustments we might need to make or not. But I hope that these 6 pointers really help you to take a look at what's going on in your business, what will help your business to move forward. And let's get that pipeline moving again because clients need you. You do amazing work in the world, and we definitely want you to get out there and make your presence known. So thank you for tuning in. Again, this is Dr. Nadia with another episode of Straight Talk About Sales. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Signing off. Bye-bye.